Okay, am I live? Okay. I hit the one wrong button and I think I'm on. Okay, so I am live. You know what? I think I forgot to post on Instagram that I was coming live. Let me see if I can do that, but meanwhile, let me turn my camera around. And I think I tried this before, but I'm gonna try this. Now let's see what happens if I turn. Did I try turning my camera to the side before? Okay, so guys, I'm gonna try this. Okay, let me see if I can turn. Okay, let me see if I can turn. Okay, let me see if I can turn. Okay, guys, I'm trying to see if I can get this to look better. Let's see. Oh, orientation is locked. Okay, so I guess I cannot do that. Okay. Okay, so I guess I can't watch this on my computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn my TV on so I can actually see myself. But guys, we are going to be doing seat skirting tonight. And let me turn on my TV so I can actually see what you guys are saying. Okay. So I've got myself on the big screen. So I am. So I've got myself on the big screen. This is gonna be weird. Let me put myself on mute. Okay. All right, guys. So tonight I'm doing some seed starting, and hopefully you guys will be joining me. I need to start some things for fall. I didn't get a chance to start all the seeds that I wanted to, and so when it comes to perennials, right now is a great time to start them because a lot of times with perennials they don't bloom the first year anyway. A lot of times they bloom the second season, and so let me show you the things that I'm going to start now. Unfortunately, I'm doing this on my phone and not, for example, with StreamYard, so I can't actually share my screen to show you pictures, so you guys will have to kind of Google this on your own. But first things first, actually, let me start with one I already have up. So I'm doing some Aquilegia vulgaris lime sorbet. So this is a lime sorbet columbine. And so this one is a perennial. It's hardy from zones 3 to 8. It gets 3 feet wide, 3 feet tall and 1 foot wide. And it's like for full or partial shade. Obviously, the warmer you are, you need more shade. So it basically blooms in spring, and it's a pale lime green. So I think on the readout I have this was used to be called clematis flowering columbine. So if you look it up, so once again it's called lime sorbet columbine. You'll see exactly what they mean. So this is one I'm going to start. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can't squeeze it into the green sections. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to put it in the new section that I'm doing for next year. So the next thing I'll be doing is GM Chiloensis, Mrs. Bradshaw. So Mrs. Bradshaw is. Hold on, now let me look this one up. Okay, so this is a GM. So it blooms in early spring. Let's see. This one is considered to be full sun, partial sun. I already have some started, and actually, I probably should have brought those in so I could have bumped them up to the next container, because I'm gonna put them in the promenade garden on either side. I also would like to put some in the new section of garden. I don't want to do too many over there because I don't want. I'm not trying to use the exact same flowers in every section of the garden. I do want some variety. So that's that one. It is red. So it's a clump forming herbaceous perennial. And so it's got showy, semi-double, rich scarlet orange flowers that are an inch and a half across. It blooms late spring to early summer. So it needs medium moisture, well drained soil. It's saying that it's deer and rabbit resistant. We'll see. It does attract a number of different pollinators, such as bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. And let's see, it gets 2 to 3 feet tall and 1 to 2 feet wide. So you're supposed to space it 12 to 18 inches. And you know me, I always fudge that. So the next one that I'm going to be doing it's called you know it's a clematis, and I'm not sure. I don't know that this is what I ordered. I thought I ordered clematis. It's a bush clematis. I want to say it's called like almost like a Mongolian snowflakes, but or maybe I didn't. It's called Blue Ribbons Bush Clematis. Okay, and so it produces. Let's see, one to like basically 1 to 3/4 indigo blue flowers. Um, and let's see, it is a bush, so it does. You can prune it. Let me see how many inches it's supposed to be. Okay, so the height is 16 to 18 inches. The spread is also 16 to 18 inches. So it's, I guess I wouldn't consider it small, but kind of like medium size. It's hardy from zones 4 to 9. And let's see, it can take full sun and it also can take part shade. So full sun is more than 6 hours and part shade is 4 to 6 hours direct sun. So it can take a variety of types of soils, fertile, average, and poor. And it's neutral to acidic soil, and it blooms. Oh, this is interesting. So, according to the perennial resource I'm looking at, it says that it blooms late spring, early summer, midsummer, and late summer. So basically, this is one of those ones that's going to bloom the entire season. It attracts butterflies, and it's supposed to be deer resistant and rabbit resistant. And so, we're going to see. So I have 100 of these. I don't know how many. I'm going to start. Guys, sorry about that. That's my instant pot. I'm actually starting dinner. I'm doing dinner. And I forgot. I should have started that earlier today. But it's done now. So after I finish this live, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I kind of think the blame on this is, let's see, it's somewhat more down facing. It's not like the it's not like the down shape, the down facing bell shaped ones, but does seem to be a downward facing one. So it looks a lot like Stand By Me clematis, but this is called Blue Ribbon. So I'm really excited to try that one. There was a clematis called Mongolian Snowflakes, and that I think that's what I was supposed to order, but I think if I remember correctly, GeoSeeds for 2023 didn't have that, so that's why I got bluebells. But I'm probably going to go back and reorder that. The next thing I'm starting is Lysimachia Atropurpurea Beaujolais. So this is Beaujolais loosestrife. Now loosestrife, I think by a normal, I guess species loosestrife, as I understand it, is very invasive. But the Beaujolais version is not. I had some last year, but none of them survived the winter, so I was a little bit disappointed by that. But let me look up all the let me look up all the information on that one. Actually, no, let me see, do I have any questions? Okay, guys, I'm going to try this. Just for whatever reason, my TV is not showing me any comments right now. Okay, I don't have any comments, so there's that. Okay, so Beaujolais Purple Loosestrife. It is hardy from zone 5 to 8. It can take full sun or partial sun. It usually, they're saying the season of interest is late spring, summer, and fall. It gets 1 to 2 feet tall and 1 to 2 feet wide, and you space it 15 to 16 inches apart, and it needs average water needs and its maintenance low. It can handle any variety of any types of soil, it looks like, and it does tolerate wet soil. And it's typically pest and disease free, but they said to keep an eye out for snails and slugs. So you cut back after flowering, and you propagate by division. Well, I guess that's one of the ways you can if you're buying it from a plant. So it kind of reminds me in some ways of like a candlestick veronica, except the full flower on it is much longer. It's really, really pretty. And one day I'll have to, because I don't have any this year, because I can't even post a picture on Instagram because I don't have it this year. But I'm going to start some more of that. Let's see. The next thing I'm starting is Angelica gigas. This is a Korean Angelica. I am pretty sure I posted a picture somewhere on Instagram. It is like, it gets actually pretty tall, probably closer to my height. And it's a single stalk with almost like a purple burgundy-ish head on it. And I saw it last year at Chanticleer, and then when I went to the farmers market for the Hardy Plant Society, it was Tiffany's Perennials had some, so I got 2 or 3, but only 2 survived the winter. And when I went out there the other day, I noticed that the stalk is coming out. So it's a really cool looking plant. So let me give you guys the stats on this one. So this one is considered to be a biennial or short-term perennial. Now, the one I bought last year, I think the woman wasn't convinced it was going to bloom this year, but it seems like it's going to do exactly that. It may die after this year, but once again, I'm starting new seeds. So at first it's like a huge leafy rosette of foliage in the first season, but then the next season, which is what I have now, it's got the flowers, but now it's sending up a huge stalk. So this one is perennial or biennial from zones 5 to 9. It gets 4 to 6 feet tall and 1.5 to 2 feet wide, so it's a fairly narrow plant. So this one can take full sun or to partial shade. and it blooms summer to fall. It definitely seems to be a late fall because I'm just now seeing the floret. And now that I think about it, when I saw it Chanticleer last year, I do believe that was fall too. It was like August is when I saw it. So I got 100 seeds of that, so I'm gonna do that, some of that. Um, I have some balloon flower. This one's called Flora Snow. I'm gonna try to start some of that. Then I also have some Apricot Beauty Digitalis. I'm going to go ahead and start some of this for now so that way it can get started. So that way, even though I'm starting it late in the season, I'm hoping it'll have enough time to make a good root, develop some good roots so it'll come back in the spring. Let's see, I'm doing, and you know what? I thought I started some of this last year and I don't know what happened to it. But I'm doing some hollyhock. It's called Queenie's Salmon. Now, the thing with hollyhock is that it gets rust really bad. Um, but my philosophy on it is basically grow it in between stuff so that the other foliage kind of camouflages the leaf because it's such a beautiful plant. It's a dwarf hollyhock, so it only gets, let's see, let's see. You have to definitely space it 1.5 to 2 feet apart, but I want to say this one only gets about 2 to 3 feet tall, and I can't find the description, but I've seen one. I've seen one in a garden center, and that's what it looks like. It did. Okay, and then I'm going to try some more Isaac Houseblend Scabiosa. It's pin cushion flower. This definitely perennializes. Though I have to say, you know what? I planted some in 2020 and it came back the next year, but now that I think about it, I thought I saw some in 2022, but it certainly didn't survive the winter, so I'm going to replant that. It may be a short-term perennial, and that's fine. Now let's talk about like some of the vegetables that I'm going to do. So I'm going to do some spinach. It's called Bloomsdale. It's 45 days to harvest, but I'm going to go ahead and start that so I can have some for fall because I like spinach. I'm going to try more of the broccoli romanesco. Unfortunately, when I started this seed this spring, because of how the temperatures went, it bolted before I got any of it. I did like the magnolia blossom tall snap peas. The flower on it was purple. It was really tasty. But I'm also going to try this one right here, which is called Sugar Magnolium, because this one, the pods are actually purple. Last but not least, I'm going to start some more sunflowers from Sunflower Steve. For some strange reason, I thought I used all my packs, but apparently I've got 2 left, so I'm going to start some more. This is the Van Gogh mix. So the flowers can look like anything, but you know what? I think I planted some, but for some strange reason, I think the rabbit got them. So I'm going to do a few, and I have some places in the vegetable garden in the raised beds that I can put them out. So I just want to get them fairly big before I put them out, and hopefully that'll save them from getting eaten. So for the seeds, I'm just using my typical seed starting trays, that sort of thing. One thing that's going to be different this time around when I start it is that I'm not going to put these on grow racks. I'm going to put it in my trays like this. I'm going to put the cover on it, and I'm actually just going to stick them outside on my front porch because it gets enough sunlight that it'll create a greenhouse effect, and quite frankly, they should sprout pretty quickly. I do enjoy starting things outdoors, and this is, in the past when I've started things later, that's what I've done, and I've always had decent success. So the sunflower I think will be fine, because I have enough time to get another bloom blooms off of them. The rest of them, I just want to get these seedlings as big as I can so that when I put them out in the ground, they have a fairly decent root system on them. So that is pretty much it. Let me see if I have any questions. Let me see if I can look at my TV right quick. Okay, so I'm bringing up the live chat. And let's see. Okay, so live chat is on, so if somebody asks any questions, I will be able to see it. But guys, that's pretty much it. Nothing to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just start. Oh, hi, retired gardener. There you are. Hi, retired gardener. Nice to see you. Did I hit the send button? I didn't hit the send. Okay. So retired gardener, I'm doing fall seed starting, and so I don't know when you came in. So just to do another run through, I'm doing some Isaac House Blend Scabiosa. I'm doing Hollyhock Cold Queenie Salmon. It's a dwarf variety. I'm going to be doing Apricot Beauty Digitalis. I'm going to be doing some balloon flower white. I'm going to be doing some Angelica Gigas. I'm going to be doing some loose strife, Beaujolais loose strife. I'm going to be doing a bush clematis called Blue Ribbons. And let's see, I'm going to be doing a GM called Mrs. Bradshaw, and I'm going to be doing a Aquilegia, which is Columbine, known as Lime Sorbet. I got some additional sunflowers that I'm going to do from Sunflower Seed. And I've got some spinach, purple snap peas, red magnolia snap peas, and some Romanesco broccoli. So, let me see how I can do this so I don't cause an issue. So in case you guys were wondering, in terms of soil, I'm using my typical mix, which is, it's ProMix mixed with, I can't remember if I've got Bumper Crop in there or Happy Frog. It's one or the other. I find that's like I do a 50-50 mix. I like it the way it turns out. So just pulling stuff out of my garage. And retired gardener, if you've got questions, you can type them. I'm going to be trying to I just finished filming a video because I'm starting a rose garden. And it's going to be a proper rose garden. I took my inspiration from the Morris Arboretum's rose garden. And so when it came to planting this one, the way I'm approaching it is, although I do want some landscaping roses, I would like a lot of roses for cutting so I can make bouquets. So actually, let me move this camera back. Oops. Hang on. Retired gardener, I'm not sure what you're asking about in terms of when will things bloom. What's it called? The sunflowers will bloom in 60 to 70 days. So I will definitely get some before the fall. With respect to the all of the perennials, none of them will bloom this year. All of them will bloom next year. And so, but I'm just starting them because typically, when you have perennials, they take a little bit to get established before they do anything. So I figure, why not start them now so I don't have to. I don't know, it feels different when I start them now because I feel like I'm not waiting as long for blooms, kind of, sort of. It's kind of weird, but that's how I feel about it. Realistically, I'm waiting just as long, but it's I guess it's a mental thing, you know? So. So you guys probably can't see me right now. That's fine. I am filling, I have a container with all my dirt in it. This is how I try to avoid making a mess in my kitchen. I'm not always very successful at it, but I try. For next year, I think I've already ordered. I think I've ordered 9 roses. I'm branching out this year. I'm going to be trying to get some roses from, what's the name of that company? Grace Rose Farm. They have a lot of varieties that are good for cutting. They have some new varieties that have been bred in, not England, but bred in like other places in Europe. So according to them, they have good disease resistance because one thing about living in New Jersey is that we get a lot of like fungal diseases with our roses, and so it's like vitally important to have something that can handle our humidity. So these say that they have good disease resistance as long as you're doing like a consistent regimen, which I will definitely get better at doing. I think what I'm going to do for next year is I'm just going to get a bunch of sprayers, which I think I have some extra ones in the garage, and I'm just going to have everything pre-mixed so that I can just grab it and go, and that way, hopefully, if I already have things pre-mixed, or even, for example, getting like neem oil that's already attached to the sprayer, so that way it kind of, cuts down on the amount of mixing I have to do in any single week. Oh, hang on for a second. Rosalind, I'm coming. I'm just filling up my thing with dirt, and then I will take your question. Okay, so Retired Gardener says, "Oh, I loved your Pigeon Island. Oh, thank you." And Rosalind said, "Did you say purple roses, or did I mishear?" Rosalind, so with purple roses, okay, so no, okay, so the ones that I'm getting from Grace Rose Company, if I remember correctly, I've ordered Honey Dijon. I've ordered, oh boy, can't believe I'm forgetting this. It's Honey Dijon. Oh my gosh, okay. I know I just recently ordered Sahara, Westminster Abbey, and Persuasion. Persuasion is a yellowy, kind of like a yellowy, light yellow cream. Westminster Abbey is actually, guys, let me just see if I can pull up my thing so I can show you, or tell you, so that way y'all can see for yourselves. Okay. First off, let me see which email account I use, because I've been taking them up on her up on the sale that they've been having. Okay, so let me show you what. Okay, so I got Westminster Abbey. Okay, so it's large and full blooms. It comprised of gray to nude petals, making it a rose so unique. And so it's like gray to nude. So it's really interesting looking. And then let's see. Pull up the other ones. Then I did Sahara. In Sahara, the description on it is called Sahara Sensation. It's a truly sensational spray rose with colors like the first light of dawn, the golden sands of the desert, and pale peach. And it says she opens halfway, then holds her shape to reveal inner petals forming an enclosed spiral. And the thing I liked about Grace Rose Farm is that they tell you basically like how long the plants last in a vase. So the Sahara Sensation lasts 7 to 10 days in a vase. Westminster Abbey, let me look that one up. That one lasts 8 to 12 days in the vase. And then let's see, Persuasion. And whoever they're getting these roses from with the Persuasion series, I want to say that's like there's a lot of like Jane Austen, because I think there was one that's called Mansfield Park and that sort of thing, which is also was just kind of cool. Let's see. So Persuasion, let's see, it's a light to buttery yellow bloom. This English cut rose is perfect for all occasions. An extended vase life with medium fragrance makes the shrub rose a welcome addition to the garden. And basically it was bred by Jan Spek Rosin. It's the Netherlands, in the Netherlands. So the base life is 7 to 12 Ds, and so yeah. But then let's see, the other roses that I'm looking at from this collection are actually, let me see if it's go into my mail. I'll get to the next question. I don't know why this is taking so long. So like earlier last week, Grace Rose Farm had this thing where it was like if you bought two, you got one free. So that's what I took advantage of. So I think I ended up getting like 6 roses or something like that. I don't know. This is why. Okay. This is why I don't like using Yahoo, because it shouldn't be taking this long. Okay, so the next question is, am I familiar, Retired Gardener wants to know, are you familiar with the Antique Rose Emporium? We were climbing roses from them over 20 years ago. Yes, I am familiar with the Antique Rose Emporium, and I will be ordering some roses from there. As a matter of fact, I have a bunch in my yard right now. So I've got 2 Alchemist, I have 2 Clotilde Superb climbing roses, and then I have Vale Chamblot. I got 2 of those. So I think I've ordered like 6 roses from them. So yeah, I know all about them. I'm going to order some because I'm going to get the Arbor Rose. There's one called Quicksilver I want to get. I also want to get Cornelia. And then I want to get the Fairy. And there was this other rose that I like called Variegata di Bologna that I liked. That I like getting from them. You know what? Yahoo, this is not funny. I don't know what is wrong with Yahoo Mail. Okay. So, and I don't know why it's not showing me everything. So I got 2 of the Honey Dijon. And dang it, like why is don't know what's going on with Yahoo Mail. It's a piece of junk. I don't even know why I had it sent there because it's just not working very well. Let's see. Well, as soon as, about time, Yahoo. I mean, for crying out loud, I could have made a whole pot of coffee by the time I finished loading. Okay, so the first order that I got from Grace Rose Farm, I got 2 honey Dijon, 2 golden mustard, and 2 Symbol. So, let's see. Oh, that's the other thing. So the ones that I told you about, Sahara Sensation, Westminster Abbey, and Persuasion, those that I ordered, those are on its own root system. Whereas with the ones, Honey Dijon, that's bare roots. I think it's considered grafted. Golden Mustard is on its own root, and Symbol, I think it's on a grafted root. But I'm sure y'all want to know what exactly. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Honey Dijon. Okay, this is starting to get irritating. Was that Honey Dijon? I know that's where I got it from. Okay, let's see. Shopper raises. The color. Okay, you know what? This is really. Oh, rose bushes. Oh, you know what? This thing is not. Okay. Sorry, guys. These websites should be working better. Okay. So, a Honey Dijon is, let's see, it says caramel to mustard to tan when fully blooms. Honey Dijon is a favorite with florists and lovers of garden roses with unique colors. It's a beautiful upright plant that blooms nonstop during the season. So it's a grandiflora rose. It has a mild to strong fragrance, and let's see, it is hardy from zone 6 to 10. Actually, it's about 5 feet tall. They don't tell you how long it lasts in the vase though, so that is unfortunate. And then let's see, there's a few more on here that I want. Let's see, the other one is called oh, I got golden mustard. I do remember that one. And golden mustard is, let's see, it has a unique golden and copper color. It has classic bloom form with extended vase life. So let's see, it has a vase life of 7 to 12 days. It has a medium fragrance. It's a bloom form. It's classic, and it's 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And I don't know what's going on with Yahoo Mail. And then there was another one, and I can't remember. I don't think it was Connie Sandstorm. I think, you know what? It was called Symbol. That part I do remember. Okay, so the Symbol is, it's a copper rose to love. So a classic bloom that opens up to whimsical petals, make this an easy favorite. So it's like, it's copper, but like it has pink and some other things. It's a very unique looking rose. So I got 2 of those. So I got 2 Honey Dijon, 2 golden mustard and 2 of symbol. And I saw like there's one they have called cappuccino. They're sold out, but I do eventually want to get that one too. So it'll, and I'm gonna get the Mansfield Park Pink, and yeah, so there's a couple more on there that I definitely am gonna get. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Rosalind says, Google that Sahara Rose. It's breathtaking. It really is. Did you look at the Honey Dijon one, Rosalind? Because I really like that one too. So like I said, that's 6 in the first batch, 3, so that's 9. And then I have some David Austin roses that I have not planted yet, that I already have. And then when it comes to heirloom roses, not heirloom roses, Antique Rose Emporium, there is a few on there that I want to get because I want to have it, a blend of David Austin plus, some antique roses. There's a couple of roses from Wick House, and they have a lot of antique roses that are only once blooming, but I'd like to get some of those varieties as well as the Grace Rose Farm, because like I said, I would like to have more roses that I can actually cut. So with the David Austin roses, like I think one of the ones I got was Princess Alexandra of Kent, which makes a good cut rose. I know I've got some teas in Georgia and Graham Thomas in one location. I'm actually going to dig those out and relocate them. So I'm trying to think. So I should have close to 20 roses to start off with. So I think 20 roses is a good start, and then of course I'll go from there. So Edward Garden says, enjoyed your presentation. I cannot wait to see your flowers. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see it either. But I was supposed to be doing this and planting at the same time. But y'all are distracting me over here. But the other thing that I'm already planning, I'm going to be getting some more peonies for my garden, because y'all know that I like peonies. Because in the rose garden section, like I said, I don't want it to look like the parterre garden. I want it to look different. So, and granted, part of looking different will be because it has, the sun exposure is different. I'm also going to be using, instead of germander hedges, I'm going to be using boxwood hedges. And I found a place on Etsy where I can get like boxwood plugs for a really good price, because I'm going to need a lot. But I'm going to have roses. I'm going to have peonies, and I'm going to change what I was going to do with the peonies, because I like getting peonies from Champlain Peony Company, and I was going to get some for the promenade. But I think with the promenade, I'm just going for like kind of an ombre look. So I'm just going to get those from like what's the name of that place? Van Eglen, because they had a lot of, their stuff is bulk. They have higher quantities of roses. Peonies. So I can plump out that section easier without breaking the bank. But the ones from Champlain Peony Company, because they have a lot of specialty stuff, those are the ones that I'm actually going to be, I don't know, I'll probably buy them maybe 2 of each variety, or maybe even 1 of each variety, because you know me, I don't feel like you have to have, a whole conglomerate of stuff. You can have various, you can do almost like take more specimen approach, which I think with the rose garden, with the roses, I'm either only going to order 1 of something or maybe 2. I'm going to try to go with a more specimen approach, so that even though the colors and stuff will be similar, it's still, it'll be kind of like a variation on thing, or kind of a blending. I don't necessarily want like mass plantings of a few things. So I'm definitely going to be putting roses in there. I'll have peonies. I'll have, like specimen peonies. And then the other thing I'm going to put in there, I'm gonna get some of Tartar. I think that's the name of the company. At Lowe's, they have these like raised beds. It's the galvanized metal, but instead of it being with a bottom, it's an open bottom. And I think I'm going to get some of those, because I want to have designated annual flowers in the rose garden. Because one thing I've been noticing about the parterre garden as time has gone on, is that the perennials that I planted, and I think it's because they are so vigorous, what's been happening is they've been spreading everywhere, and I actually really don't have room to put annuals in there, but I like annuals for the color and that sort of thing. And I just don't have the space. And if I do plant them, they're almost to a certain extent getting overtaken, unless they are basically over, like basically reseeded. Because like I had amaranth, it's autumn torch, that reseeded this year, and the ones that reseeded are much bigger, taller. The ones that I planted from seed and then transplanted, they are just not holding up as well in that space. So I think if I have some raised bed areas, just dotted throughout, and I'm just putting annuals in there, I think the annuals will have enough space to kind of come up and do their thing, and I can get some cut stuff, because I would like to have a few more cut flowers. I like making the bouquets, especially because you guys know I like to make bouquets using the language of flowers. But this year it's definitely more of a challenge because I just haven't been able to get those annuals. But I think, of course, one thing I had definitely missed is I have not been able to have any roses, because a lot of the David Austin roses I've been planting are landscape varieties. They just don't hold up well in a vase at all. So Rosalind says, Honey Dijon looks like it was painted by Rembrandt. I know, right? They really do have some really nice roses on there. And when I actually get my farm, I'm definitely gonna be ordering, have a proper rose garden. I mean, I don't know, like, do you think an acre, like, I mean, obviously with a farm I want as many acres as possible, but I'm just like, would an acre rose garden be too small or too large, or not large? Would that not be large enough? I don't know. I just want to like to have a lot of roses. The other thing is that I know like Floret, and there's some other guy that's out on the West Coast who has a lot of antique roses, and I think they've been like setting cuttings to people, to preserve them. I would love to do something like that. That's just, I'm crazy, y'all. Okay. Retired Gardener says, do you ever fight gophers with your flowers? You know what, Retired Gardener? I have not been fighting gophers. Knock on wood. Let's see. I have groundhog. Interesting enough, the groundhog leaves that alone. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I mean, with the vegetable garden, that's in 2-foot high raised beds, and obviously because that's got a bottom, they can't really dig up through that. And there's a 6-foot high fence around it, so I haven't been dealing with that. With the parterre garden, I mean, I do have a lot of toxic plants out there, but I'm also in the parterre garden a lot, so I don't know if that's also what's keeping them away. But there are raccoons in the area. I haven't had a raccoon issue yet. I have deer that regularly walk through my backyard. Haven't had an issue with that yet. So I actually do have a surprise. Like, I got rabbits. They've decimated some things, but I actually do have a fair amount of wildlife. I definitely have some moles or voles, something. I see those tunnels, but thus far I have not seen any gophers. I don't know if they're around here. Let's see. Drops from the garden depends upon what you can manage and grow. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Retired Garden says, I just bought 2 galvanized tubs from Walmart for $65. They were 48 by 20. Oh, nice. Retired Garden says, here's the thing. Galvanized tubs from Walmart are nice, but you have to put them together. You know what? Gotta be honest, I do like the fact that the galvanized stock tanks and that sort of thing that I've been getting from Home Depot and Lowe's, they're already pre-put together. I just bring them home. The only thing I have to do is drill holes in the bottom of them, and that's it. I'll be quite honest, I don't really want to have to put stuff together. I just, I love just being able to put holes in it and just go. Okay, so drops in the garden. First thing for first-time gardeners to grow what you eat, and that is easy to grow. I'm not a first-time gardener, so Just saying, grow what is easy, what you eat, don't overcomplicate it. Yeah. Well, I'm not drops gardener. I'm not an inexperienced gardener. I I've been doing this for quite some time. So yeah, that's why my garden. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody you starting to have a 3,000 square foot garden like I do. I wouldn't do that. But once you kind of get into it, then yeah, go for it. Um, so retired gardens is exactly. I'm assuming you're talking about my comment about. Uh, I'm talking. I think you're talking about my thing with Walmart. Okay, retired gardener says I no longer have a truck, so I had no way to get the tubs away from Home Depot. Okay. You know what? I have an SUV, and what I did was because they have 4 foot long ones and 6 foot long ones. 4 foot long ones are pretty fairly easy. Because I just put the back seats down. And even with 6 foot ones, I could fit them in there. I just got the ones that were nested, so I could fit because I think I've actually bought three 6 foot stock tanks at one time, but they nested, so one fit inside the other. And when I put it in the back, I just kind of angled it slightly, and it was fine. The 4 foot ones, I can almost put those like side by side. So I don't have a pickup truck, but that's why I always get an SUV because I like to haul stuff. Um, yeah, so but retired gardener. I'll be quite honest. I'm very tempted to get a truck, but since I'm talking, let me go ahead and start seeding. This is the columbine here. I haven't always had the best luck with columbine, but I'm ready to give it another try. I think in the past I tried winter sowing it. This will be the first time I just tried a normal seeding. But like I said, I'm just gonna pop these outside my front porch. We'll spritz them down. Let that heat take care of it, and I think I should be okay. So we'll see how it goes. Thing is, I don't know how many I'll need. And see, for me, me, I always like to overseed everything, because even if I have a little extras, I just separate. Y'all know me. I have mastered the skill of separating, seeds out into larger things, and this is no exception. But guys, I feel so bad because I have more chrysanthemums that I have rooted. I need to get those potted up and into outside. And you know what? My mom's here, and she cleaned, and she moved my plant tags. um, hang on. Where did she put them? Okay, I found them. I'm surprised because typically when my mom cleans up, there's one thing my mom put away. I still haven't found it. I still have yet to find it. So this is lime sorbet. Okay, and so goes in this section right here. And let's see. What's the okay? Oh, y'all, there's like there's like 3 deer that just ran through my backyard. So Rosalind says, "What's the difference between heirloom and antique roses? And is there a difference?" A lot of times I think like heirloomroses.com. I don't know. I don't know that there's a real difference. I think antique roses, it's when they were first bred. I know, like for example, on Antique Rose Emporium, a lot of their roses, or at least were bred probably like a lot more of them tend to be bred like maybe 75 to 100 years you know, ago. I know, like for example, if you're talking about like furniture, like vintage is considered to be like 40 years, as opposed to um, antique, which is considered to be, I guess, 50 to 100 over like maybe 100 years or 50 or 100 plus years. So it's kind of a thing like that. I just find that with the I can tell you with heirloom roses and antique rose emporium, they all the plants they sell are on their own root system. If you're in a colder climate, I would recommend things that are on a root system. I personally, even though I'm in New Jersey, I like them because we get these funky like cold snaps, and which I find can be more damaging than just straight cold weather. The nice thing about having stuff on the own root system is that if for whatever reason you get a bad winter and it dies down, as long as the roots are still alive, it'll flush back from spring. Whereas if you get something that's grafted, number one, there's always, with the grafting point, there's always that's an avenue for disease to get in. But the other thing I find sometimes what happens with the grafted roots is that sometimes they can start sending suckers up, and the suckers will actually be from the rootstock, which could be Dr. Huey's. I think that's it's typically in New Jersey is Dr. Huey's, and so you'll have like basically a different color rose, and it can kind of overtake the rose that you actually want. I personally like things that are on its own root system. What I found with the things that are on its own root system is that the first year like it sends up one stalk, and then but over time it makes up for it. I just like them better. It's a personal thing. Some people don't care. I mean, I have grafted root roses that are fine. Like for example, the Desdemonas are grafted. I just make sure that when I planted them, I put the the bud union underneath the ground by like a couple of inches rather than above the ground, and that one's doing very well. Actually, I think I actually bury all the bud unions on mine, and I just find that they do better because I used to not do that, and I noticed that when we would have a bad winter, I actually would lose a lot of the roses, and I haven't. I mean, I'm trying to have I lost a rose since I've been here? I think I've lost like one rose since being here, just one. So I personally find it works better, but everybody does something different. You don't have to do what I do. I find it works for me. Let's see. Oops, was that a dog or a cat around here? There's no mice. Well, with heirloom, we were talking about roses. So, heirloom roses versus antique roses. The other thing, Rosalind, is when it comes to antiques, like they're talking about things like Gallicas, Damask, Bourbons, Centrifolia, Perpetua, Hybrid Musk, that sort of thing. Some of the antique roses don't rebloom. Like for example, Variegatas di Bologna is a bourbon rose. They say that it will do a smaller flush in the fall. I've never had that happen. I've only had it do one large flush in the spring, and that's it. Most roses, when you go back, years and years and years ago, only bloomed one time. I believe it was the China roses that had repeat blooms, and then they started crossing the China roses with like the Damask and the bourbon and that sort of thing. And I think that's the first class of roses that repeat blooms were the Perpetuas. I think, don't quote me on the name. I think it was the Perpetuas, and they basically had a spring flush and then like a later like fall flush, and then through breeding, that's how they were able to get things that can continuously bloom. But like I said, blooming throughout the season was not a trait that most roses around the world had. So a little bit of a history lesson for you guys. Sorry, I'm geeking out over here. Hi, Beatrice. It's nice to see you. Yeah, so anyway, that's the whole thing with roses. So I like the older roses. I find with the things like the Damask, the bourbons, like the ones I have, like the Veil Chamblots and those sort of things, I find it. Oh wait, this is columbine. Y'all, I'm so busy talking, I ain't paying attention to what I'm doing. Um, I find in terms of disease resistance, I think they are. Actually, I find that a lot of them, the ones I've had thus far, they do better in terms of disease resistance than even the David Austin roses. My Vale Chamblon and the other ones, they've gotten black spot and they have dropped leaves and they kept on ticking. David Austin, some of them are better than others, but but I don't know. I think the antique roses, to me at least, they perform really well. Um, but it's just they smell better. I mean, they have a lot more scent than the new things. But I think when everybody talks about like the picky roses, it's just some of the modern cultivars. Like for example, this one I tried to grow called uh, Sterling Rose. Yeah, that was. it just it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Sometimes they're just really bad. With all the new, all the color, they're breeding them from color and that sort of thing, and sometimes it just ends up breeding the hardiness right out of them. So I'm planting the Blue Ribbons Bush Clematis right now, so we will see how this goes. I'm looking forward to seeing, seeing this one. I like clematis, but sometimes, I don't necessarily have a whole lot of places where I can put a vines. So having something that is bush will be nice. And if next year, if I can track down some more Mongolian bells, then I will. Japanese cherry tree been there over 100 years. Okay. Retired gardener says love it, and retired gardener says I agree. I'm assuming you're talking about the roses. I'm trying to be good and do this and keep up track with the conversation, and it's not always working. So for me, I like some of the roses that I got from Grace Rose Farm. I don't think have a necessarily heavy fragrance, but some do. But I think, well, first of all, the David Austins have a scent, but I think once I put all of those together, I think it's gonna. And then on top of that, I'm putting peonies, and a lot of the peonies have a heavy scent. I think that come spring, because they tend to bloom at the same time. I think that as it is now, I can go outside when they're blooming, and I can smell, some good stuff. It smells really nice. So I think it's only gonna get better. Oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, so I did some of those. Okay. Should I do more? I guess I should do 24 of these, shouldn't I? I should do 24 little cells of clematis, right, guys? Of course I should. I know you guys are all agreeing with me in front of your computers. Signing off for the evening. Thank you, Retired Gardener. Thanks for joining me. Being attacked by our lap kitty. Oh, I have a dog. Drops Family Garden, and my dog is blissfully sleeping over on his little pillow. Actually, after I do this, it's 8 o'clock. I didn't realize that. I'm going to sign off in a second as soon as I finish doing this tray, because it's 8 o'clock. I need to eat something. And on top of that, I'm actually in the middle of sewing an outfit, so I'm almost finished, and I want to get this finished tonight. But I've been working on this seed starting for this week, so I'm trying not to go too crazy on everything. Famous last words, right? Because what gardener doesn't go too crazy? But I just want to get these big enough so I can get them planted soon, so that way they have enough time to put on some root mass before fall, and that way next year hopefully I'll get some blooms, and all will be well. And like I said, some of these are going to be going in the new rose garden, so this will be perfect. Some of these I may not put in the ground. I think what I may actually do is I have larger containers and just put them in there to chill in the winter. This is Blue Ribbon. Okay, and then the last one for tonight. You know what? I was going to go with a perennial, but I think I'm just going to start some more of these. I'm going to start some more of the Van Gogh Fantasy Mix. This is from Sunflower Steve. This is one of the ones that I got when he had his sale earlier this year. So for those of you guys who do not know Sunflower Steve, he's a cut flower farmer. About 15 years ago, he was growing sunflowers and he had a mutation, and he called that mutation Gigi. And from that mutation, he has bred all these very unique sunflowers, and it's just, it's absolutely amazing. I think he's going to be doing some single varieties next year, and I cannot wait for that seed sale. Let's see. Still have enough to do. I have one more pack after this one, but I think I'm just going to hold on to that one for next year, just in case I can't. Well, you know what it is? Once these bloom, I'm definitely going to make sure I do some seed saving from them, so I can make sure I have some for next year. Because one thing I can tell you from last year is that, actually I have a couple left in here, is that getting hold of these seeds I was literally perched in front of my computer, waiting for his website to come on, and that's how I was able to score the ones that I got. So there was a lot of people because he sold out of 8,000 packs in like 6 minutes. And excuse me, not 6 minutes, 11 minutes, which I think is pretty impressive. So let's see. Oh, for those of you guys, I don't even know if I've mentioned it, but I'm actually, for next year, I'm strongly considering finding a gardener. I am going to be putting job postings out at Rutgers, which has a horticultural, they've got horticultural classes, and then also at Rowan, which also has, they do some horticulture and agriculture down there. I'm looking for like a student, that sort of thing, because unfortunately my job changed a lot of things that so they made some changes that have basically taken away the free time that I had and been used to. So I'm not really happy about that. But yeah, I'm thinking, so I think having an assistant gardener, especially for things like planting during fall and spring and that sort of thing, I think it'll make things a lot easier, and I think I'm just going to enjoy it. Let's see, hang on a second. Okay, what type of seed just spilled? Oh, is that the broccoli? I think that's the broccoli. Okay. Alright guys, so that's the first set done. Let me see if I can find my spritzer. Okay, so I found my spritz bottle. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. And I did not charge the battery. Okay, I have a backup one. So let me go see if I can find that one. Rosalind says, let's see, I thought the older rose varieties would be more delicate. You know, Rosalind, I'll be quite honest. I find that when anybody starts crossbreeding um, new varieties and that sort of thing, I find that a lot of times they end up breeding the hardiness and vigor right out of them. I find that the newer stuff is always I've been seeing as I've gotten more into gardening and finding more old fashioned types. I just find that a lot of times that stuff ends up getting bred out of it. I know with like the newer varieties of roses, a lot of them they have very little to no scent because that's just been bred out of them. So no, I like the. I mean, some of the old garden roses don't have scent, but most of them do. And it's actually pretty powerful. So um, no, I mean, any given, like I said, I'm trying out Grace Rose Farm. I'll see how I like it. When I was at, okay, I'm sorry, I see some deer. I'm just making sure what they're doing out there because I don't want them. Oh, wait a minute, it's $2 and they're actually fighting. Y'all, this is crazy. Hang on, let me grab the camera and I'll turn it around so you guys can see. Can you guys see that? They're locking horns right now. Like they're legit getting ready to throw down in my backyard. So anyway. So yeah, anyway, that's what they're doing back there. But yeah, sometimes the newer stuff isn't necessarily better. That's what I find. So I try to go with more old-fashioned varieties. I mean, David Austin, obviously those are modern hybrids, but they seem to be crossing some new stuff with a lot of the old garden traits, which is why they have the scent and I think it's bigger. And it seems from what the stuff that Grace Rose Garden has, they're getting it from a lot of places in Europe, and they. Oh, now these deer are just nasty. Okay, there's one. Okay, guys, like they're like getting it on in my backyard. Like these deer, like they need to chill out. like this is not that kind of place. Okay. um, but yeah, so I think with some of the new European lines, I'm hoping with Grace Rose Garden that that with neem oil and orchard spray and that sort of thing, I should be able to. I'm hoping that they'll do well. And that's the whole thing is with roses that you have to try a bunch of things to find something that works. If they die, they die. I just go try something new. But the one thing I have seen that makes a difference is fertilization. Like you guys have heard me go on and on about the Job's fertilizer sticks, the 3-month feed. I noticed when I gave the David Austin roses that, I noticed that, I mean, obviously they were getting fed, so they bloomed a lot, but I just noticed that the amount of disease issues and pest issues just was dramatically different. They did get black spot, but it's like they handled it and bounced back really quickly. So guys, I'm just watching these deer because they're getting closer to my vegetable garden, so I'm gonna have to chase them off. So anyway, guys, I am going to sign off right now because number one, I'm hungry, and I gotta chase these deer off, and I gotta get my other sprayer so that I can spray these seeds down. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna take a picture of all the stuff that I have, and I'll keep you guys posted on how these do. I may do another live on that. Next week, I think I'm going to do a live podcast, a live recorded podcast. The topic is going to be Yellow's Aster. So if you guys have questions, you can put them at the bottom of this video. Most of you guys follow me on Instagram, so you can always message me. I'm going to try to post it on Instagram and Yahoo, and excuse me, and Facebook to get more questions for it. Thus far, I've only had to chop 2 of my echinacea, which is good. I've been watching everything else like a hawk, but I noticed there's been a lot of confusion online between Yellow's Aster as opposed to other damage. So I just wanted to kind of go over that and how to troubleshoot, how to spot it, and how to troubleshoot it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next live. Oh wait a minute, I'm doing the live on my phone.